We're just a couple days away from the Bitcoin halvening, and once again, we've hit $10,000. So what happens next? Will Monday's halving lead to the next big parabolic run, or will there be a sell-off and then a fire sale on mining equipment? A major mainstream investor has gone in on Bitcoin. Will others follow? Pew Die Pie has signed an exclusive streaming deal with YouTube. And attendees for a crypto conference have joined a massive class action lawsuit. Thankfully, it wasn't for Virtual Blockchain Week. So many questions, so few answers, but at least there's plenty of bacon to go around. Let's talk about all of it, mix it up with a few bad jokes, because this is our Bad News episode number 403 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
It's happening, Mr. Travis Wright. It's happening.
Wow, what a long, strange journey it's been. This is actually the first halvening that we have participated in as Bad Kryptonites.
That's true, because the last one would have happened in 2016, and we didn't start the show till 2017. So it's exciting, and there's, the number of Google searches are way up. There's some interesting things happening as far as a big investor getting into Bitcoin now, and maybe others are going to follow. Lots of stuff to talk about today, Mr. Travis Wright. But first, let's give a shout out to our show sponsor, MobiPay. Certainly by now you guys have gone to mobipay.io, right? Just nod, say yes. Even if you haven't, just kind of sheepishly go, I will soon. Whatever. MobiPay.io. These guys are working to make it so you can spend and send money and digital currencies worldwide from your mobile phone in seconds. Not minutes, not hours, not days, weeks, months, or years. Seconds. Super fast, built on the Stellar blockchain. And if you go to mobipay.io, sign up for their beta, they'll give you $10 in free MBX tokens. There's no reason not to do it. Play today, mobipay.io. Time stamping this recording for 11:45 a.m. on May the 8th, 2020. My birthday is past. Mr. Travis Wright's is still coming up here in the very near future. But before that happens, the Bitcoin block reward halving will happen. Set to happen on May 12th at just after midnight in, what is this, Greenwich Mean Time, UTC.
Mm-hmm.
So here in the U.S., if you're on the East Coast, it should be around 7 p.m. on May 11th. On the West Coast, 4 p.m. Where I am, 5 p.m. and where Travis is 6 p.m. And we're planning on going live when, we get a better sense for when that is going to happen. And we're going to celebrate the halvening live in the Bad Crypto Mastermind. Yeah.
And what does that mean for some people? So some of you folks obviously know it. Some are going, it's the halvening. What the hell's going on with that? So
it means if I had a Bitcoin now, I'm only going to have half of one. No.
Oh, yeah. It's not like a reverse stock deal where they, I always like it whenever they, what is it called? What is it called when they do that? Whenever they
stock split.
Yeah, those stock splits. It's not the opposite of that. So basically,
it's not a reverse merger either.
Yeah, the reverse. That's what I was looking for. I'm really big on the stock stuff. But so back in the day, whenever the Bitcoin was first issued, every time you mined a block, you were rewarded 50 Bitcoins per block. That was the reward given to miners. And after every 210,000 blocks are mined, which is about every 4 years or so, the block reward halves and will keep on halving until the block reward becomes approximately zero in the year 2140. And so right now,
Travis. I have a question. The 50 it was given to miners. Now, was that each of the 6 miners that successfully completed the transaction, or were the 50 Bitcoins is in the block divided between those 6?
Those 6.
Right.
So if they have a pool or whoever mines that block, they get that total reward. One person gets the reward, unless you're in a pool, which is a totally different thing.
Right, but it takes 6 confirmations.
Yeah, but it takes confirmations. But after those confirmations are done, then they have that algorithm that goes that the computers have to solve that algorithm after the blocks are exchanged, right? So
I think yep.
That's what happens. And so there were 50, then there were 25. As of right now, the block reward is 12.5 coins per block, and it will decrease to 6.25 blocks per post halvening. Now, we've already mined 80% of Bitcoin, and so the remaining 20% is going to be mined over the next 120 years.
Yeah, right now, if we look at CoinGecko, there are 18,369,050 Bitcoin that are circulating out of the 21 million. So if you were to subtract that, that leaves 2.6 million Bitcoin, and it's going to take 100 years for those remaining ones.
Yeah, the final one gets done in the year 2140.
It's a deflationary currency. So the issuance of Bitcoins becomes more scarce over time. And Bitcoin is then a hedge against inflation. And what we've discovered is that, wow, Bitcoin really has been a safe haven like gold. I mean, the Dow is under 24,000 right now from almost hitting 30, or did it hit 30? Anyways, it was right up there. Mm-hmm. And, if you invested in the stock market, you're still down a boatload. If you had invested in Bitcoin or gold, you're up. You're smiling today because Bitcoin's been hovering. It hit 10,000 and it's just been in that 9,900 range, all day today.
Yeah, and what's really peculiar to me is I'm sitting here looking at the 24-hour volumes. Now, if I'm looking at the volume of all the exchanges, it says it's been over $100 billion, but Bitcoin by itself was $55 billion. Ethereum was nearly $20 billion. XRP, $2.5 billion in 24-hour volume. Tether, $69 billion in volume over the last 24 hours.
Wow.
Bitcoin Cash, $4 billion. Litecoin, almost $4 billion. EOS, almost $4 billion. Like, it's crazy when you see all of these huge numbers of volume. Tron, almost $2 billion. Ethereum Classic, $2.4 billion. Like, these are big, big numbers.
So on CoinGecko.com, the current market cap is over 272 billion. Bitcoin has a 67% dominance right now. And I remember during the last run, Travis, it was like the top 40 or so cryptos or more all had over $1 billion market cap. Right now, the top 18 are over $1 billion market cap. For some of these tokens, I was like, what? How in the world? I mean, there's businesses that, have delivered goods and services to people all over the world that don't have the market cap that some of these cryptos have.
Mm-hmm. But then when we look at the market cap compared to, other companies, I mean, we're still like, what, a half of Apple? All of the crypto market, right? That's one company. So, I mean, if you take a look at it, it's all perspective and how you view these things. I mean, the Leo token, that's number 18. That's $1 billion project right now, apparently. Huobi
I don't even know what that is.
That's nearly $1 billion project. And interesting to see all these. Let's go over some of the highlights for the week, Mr. Joe Comm.
Bitcoin's at 99.41, Ethereum 213, XRP just shy of 22 cents, Tether about $1, Bitcoin Cash 263, Bitcoin SV 213, Litecoin almost $48, EOS 277, Binance Coin 1723, and Tezos wrapping up the top 10 here, 279. Lots of green, but there are definitely some serious winners, Travis.
Some serious winners, yeah, quite a few over 50% this week. 0x, it was up 113%. Actually, in the last 24 hours, it's up 64%, but over the course of the last week, it's up 113%, pretty crazy. Hyperion, HYN, that's up 69%. Redcoin, RDD, that was up 60%. We have, AAV, LEND, the LEND token, that's up 60%. The Ripio Credit Network up 55%. Numiere up 54%. Hollow, that's the
Hollow.
Hollow, if it's hot, they were up 52%. Chillas, like these are some silly names. These are almost like ICO names from back in the day that are having a little pump, looks like.
Yeah, and really, as far as the downside goes, Hive was the worst for the last 7 days, down 12%. Not really even worth going over the downside because it's just been a pretty solid week. So
Yeah.
the question is, now what happens? The halving, definitely has interest. We're going to talk a little bit about, Google searches for halving and where people are getting their information about this. But are we going to see this parabolic rise, or are people going to sell? The question is always, which way is the market going to go? Because if you knew the answer to that, you would know if it's time to buy or sell.
Mm-hmm. We would know. But it is interesting to see what's going on. This is probably the most interesting time to be paying attention to crypto since, winter 2017, 2018, when we had those all-time highs. I mean, the volumes that are going on right now, we looked at CoinGecko, the volumes are just off the charts. They're higher than they've ever been according to that data. Now, we've had folks on before that's questioned some of that data, but I would say right now probably trading is that data is as legit as it can be. We are probably at the time where more crypto is being traded per day, per hour than ever before.
The typical scenario is buy the rumor, sell the news. And so we know that this event is going to happen. It's going to happen on Monday. And at that point, you could say the price is baked in. But is it really? Because the fact that this is a deflationary currency means that it's going to cost miners more to mine a Bitcoin. And so in order to keep the machines running, make the machines of the crypto world burr, as we like to say, then the price has to support that. So if there's fewer miners because they can't support, then that means that regular people can mine, for a time again until the price is driven up. And then you'll have less chance of getting a reward again. But I don't know how the price doesn't increase as a result of the halving. Now, traditionally, in the past two halvings, the price did drop afterwards and then recovered over the months that followed, reaching new highs 10 to 11 months later. So if that pattern follows suit, then we'd be looking at next winter and early spring for new all-time highs.
Yeah, so think about it like this. Now what happens is now that you're going to get less of a reward and it's going to be more difficult than ever to mine it, right? And so that in some cases is going to scare off some miners, right? They're going to maybe go off to Ethereum or go off to some other stuff, which then could have less miners mining. Well, also just to pair with this news right here, Bitmain apparently has produced a bad batch of units ahead of the Bitcoin halving. That's what some miners out there are saying. And there's the Chinese mining. Basically, they're the unicorn when it comes to Bitcoin miners. They're Bitmain. They're out of China. And apparently they released a batch of ant mining products with a particularly high failure rate, according to some miners. And other miners are saying that they think that Bitmain actually uses the units before they ship them out. And so they say, oh, well, let's get some of the wear and tear on this thing and because they build equipment and then they like to use it because they're one of the largest mining operators, right? Their biggest pool. And so then they sell used equipment or, equipment that's failing. So that's what some of these miners are saying, according to this article, Mr. Joe Comm.
You can't prove that they haven't. It's not like an odometer on a vehicle, right? Which even that can be illegally reset. It's not like you turn on a computer and you could tell how long this thing has been, working in mining. So if they're bad miners, does that mean they're good for mining bad coin?
Well, it depends on which algorithm they would use, I would assume. But that is it's a precarious thing to do. You know what? It's like it would not surprise me. But they've had the power of those things just not be delivering what they would hope that they would be delivering, and they're failing at a higher rate, and some think they're used.
I think if it weren't for coronavirus, which has thrown the whole world order into disarray, we would have been talking a lot more in the mainstream about the Bitcoin halving. right?
think
There's
so.
definitely an impact here. But this article here on Cointelegraph talks about which countries are the top ones that are Googling Bitcoin halving, because people are like, well, what does this mean? What's going on? And so we'll count them down here. In the top 5 countries Googling Bitcoin halving, coming in at number 5, you know them, you love them for their yodeling, Austria.
And they are a very Bitcoin curious nation. I've been there. I was in Vienna. I believe it was last year, or it was the last part of the year before that. And I saw merchants accepting Bitcoin. I saw big banners and billboards for a big Bitcoin conference all throughout there. I saw lots of graffiti with the Bitcoin logos. There is a lot of adoption and curiosity there in Austria.
And coming in at number 4, across the body of water from Finland, is the small Baltic nation of Estonia.
Estonia.
You like to get Estonia, don't you?
Every once in a while. But Estonia is great because they have this, they've had this contentious relationship with Russia, and they want to have their own rights, and so they basically created their own e-residency deal. They're basically their government's on the blockchain. They use cryptocurrency and stuff there, and so they're very aware of the crypto world. So it makes total sense that Estonia would be all about the Bitcoin halving.
This is Casey Kasem, and we're counting down the top 5 countries that are Googling the Bitcoin halving. Coming in at number 3 with a bullet, Slovenia.
Slovenia. Yes, and this is actually the original home of Bitstamp, and they even have a Bitcoin monument in Slovenia. Have I been to Slovenia? I've been to Slovakia. I don't know that I've been to Slovenia. There's so many of them, so many countries.
All the aliens in the stands.
Yeah, but there are lots of shops, hundreds of shops even, that accept Bitcoin thanks to a rollout of a new app there in Slovenia.
I'm seeing a theme here, Mr. Travis, right? Number 2, the Netherlands.
The Netherlands. Now, I really like the Netherlands. It's been a fun place to go. I mean, I think it was one of my first countries that I went to and smoked some marijuana legally.
I thought you were a fan of the nether regions. I didn't. The Netherlands.
Depends on who those nether regions are attached to. I could be a big fan.
And coming in at number 1, also fan of yodeling, is Switzerland. And not a surprise, but it's all Western and Eastern Europe here, really, that are dominating the searches.
Yeah, we got Crypto Valley there in Switzerland, and you got all the finance stuff that goes on. They have members of the Bitcoin Suisse and Zug and all that great stuff that's going on over there. So, and plus, it's one of the countries that don't sort of bust the balls of the developers of the cryptos, right? So they give them a little bit of grace over there, and they're not scaring away all the innovation.
Please do not crush crypto balls. Do not bust.
Leave balls alone. And
that winds up our top 5 countries. Next week's top 5 things that Travis Wright says again and again. Where will interesting fall on the list?
That's really interesting.
How about good stuff?
What about absolutely? That's what the Joe Comm's go to lately.
You picked up on this story here just before we started to record. The question from Luke Fitzpatrick, who is a contributor to Forbes.com, says, did Google just censor Bitcoin? In other words, are they making it more difficult for people to find information about Bitcoin in their new algorithm? And there is some data to support that this might be the case.
Yeah, it's the May 2020 core update, and it's fascinating to see how they are manipulating this type of stuff. And there's been a lot of channels out there that have been negatively affected that are reporting a decline in views just a few hours after publishing. They're experiencing many less views. They're also noticing that they're not being recommended besides other videos. And
we're talking about YouTube here, right?
We're talking about YouTube. Yeah, well, it's YouTube, but then also Google's doing some stuff to limit the page views to crypto projects. And it makes me wonder if they don't have a Bitcoin or a crypto project in development or something, right? It's like, why are they so hell-bent on censoring crypto projects and news about crypto? there's something going on. There's something going on. I would not be surprised to hear in the next couple of months of Google having a crypto project or something.
It would not surprise me as well. But I think the key thing you said there is the question, why? Right. And this, there's not enough people asking why to many things that are happening in the world around them and being aware of this. By the way, I'm really excited to announce, Travis, that all of the bad crypto videos that we have uploaded on YouTube are now censor proof from disappearing from the internet because they are now on Library. And if you guys have not downloaded and installed Library yet, LBRY.com. It is a desktop app for both Macintosh and for Windows computers. This is decentralized video, censorship resistant, censorship proof, really. It cannot be taken down. And so they've got a great tool that allows you to import your entire YouTube channel to Library. So now my channel at Joel Comm, there's like 670 videos that every time I post one on YouTube, automatically get sucked down and put on Library. And Bad Crypto's got about 220 videos now. So go follow us there, follow that channel, and support decentralized video hosting.
Yeah. I would also say this, folks. I've been doing some of this here recently because I've been thinking about all of these pieces of content that are being censored, right? And you can actually, on your YouTube, if you find a video that you think is fascinating, that you want to keep, and what you can do is you can go and make it, instead of youtube.com/watch, blah, blah, blah. If after YouTube, you put the letters PP, it goes to a site where you can download those videos really easily. So if I find a video that I like, that I think other people should watch, and I'm actually in the beginning of putting together a curriculum of just news and information that can help people understand why the world is the way that it is today. Talk about money, talk about some of the power and control and some of the conspiracies that have gone on over time and hidden knowledge. So I'm taking some of these videos, I'm going to save them up and we'll put them on Library, because I think Library could be like the next Alexandria Library, where a lot of those pieces of content that aren't available anywhere else can be available on these decentralized platforms where they have no censorship. I think we're at a very important crux in time, Mr. Joel Comm, where censorship is starting to take over and they're becoming very brazen about it. And they're just eliminating all kinds of great information online, and then it's gone. What do you do when all that shit's gone? It's like the modern day book burning.
Don't be putting a crux in my time.
Yeah.
I think that it is just a matter of time before there is an exodus. It's finding the right platform. And, we've talked about this before. I know how to do this. Like, technically, I understand what is needed in order to have a mass exodus from Facebook. And there is not yet a platform that is set up to manage this. And really what it would take is some funding because you'd have to be able to manage a huge server load, right? Mm-hmm. A stable system. And then you just launch the campaign and watch people migrate like crazy. Because I think that right now, if you provided that alternative to people, that they would have the same experience on Facebook, only without the censorship, and they'd be able to keep their friends and all those relationships, then they would do it. It's so simple. And it's right there, before our eyes, and yet nobody has taken advantage of this yet.
I tell you what, there's not too many people out there who know social media more than Mr. Joel Comm. He's written several books on the topic. So if anybody out there who wants to change the world, give us a holla.
Yeah, let us know. I know how to do it. I can fix this. We can fix it. We can do it together.
That's actually one of the reasons why we got into crypto in the first place, right? Because we were talking to people about some solutions that could be happening, and then we ended up going off on this little crazy bad crypto tangent.
And I think this is the biggest problem that prohibits an exodus is we all still use Facebook. Why? Because we're connected to our friends there. Mm-hmm. And if I go somewhere else, are they going to come with me? No, it's too difficult. They got to set up a new account. It's a new platform. It operates and functions differently. It doesn't have to be that way, gang.
Mm. I wonder if voice could do something like that. You know what I mean? Like but theirs is more set up like Medium. It's not really set up like.
there's no social platform out there blockchain wise that is a Facebook replacement, not an alternative. A replacement is what we need, and a replacement would have virtually the same major functionality. I'm not talking about everything that Facebook does, but what's the most important thing? The connections, right? And our history, the photos we've uploaded, the comments we've made, the connections, the messaging, all of that can be completely replicated and portable. So
it would be great. That's one of the things that I look at that blows me away is how coordinated these social media profiles, these channels are at eliminating narratives and videos that they don't want on the platform. It's like if anybody is questioning the coronavirus thing that's going on, like if you put news or video up that questions the narrative at all, that questions who or questions the CDC, they take that down as fake news. It's almost like they've elevated these organizations as they are the beholders of truth. But then whenever you dive into their organizations, you can see that they're actually beholding to money and influence of other important influential people. But now you got these social media platforms that are saying whatever they say is the truth. You can't question that, or you're a fake news, you're a fake account. You can't even have a discussion around it. Otherwise, that to me is very scary, especially when we start talking about medicine and we just have to blindly trust them to make sure. It seems unsafe.
Would you say it's Orwellian?
I would say it's Orwellian with a dash of Aldous Huxley thrown in, and not enough Ayn Rand, probably.
Not enough Atlas Shrugged. Well, Atlas is going to shrug, and you tell people that they have to live a certain way, and they're going to be like, "Oh, really? All right, then. How about I just withdraw from society as it's now known?" And
but now you don't have the chip, and so now you can't make your currencies, and so now you ain't. It just, I don't know, man. It's like I think that the jump that we're going to have from 2020 to 2030. I mean, this is a crucial decade in the civilization of humanity. I mean, I think it's such that because this could go either way. Like we could look at these people that are arresting people for going outside or having their business. It's crazy. We got to be careful.
Never has there been a more important fork in the road. And I've always told, or been told, when you see a fork in the road, take it, because that means you can eat
if it's made of silver.
Eat tasty things with it. I mean, plastic fork, metal fork.
Well, no, not a plastic fork, because it's probably been. I mean, I would pick up a silver spork.
Back to Cointelegraph.com while we dispense of the cutlery conversation, although there could be an opportunity to get back into that later. This headline, what's that?
Now with more banter, bad crypto.
Warren Buffett expects market doom that can take Bitcoin down with it. I love Cointelegraph, and I understand that Warren Buffett is extremely influential, but I don't know why anybody's really paying any attention to anything he says about Bitcoin. He's still clearly not convinced, and that's fine. This is speculative, though, that I guess they've got a stockpile of $137 billion in cash at Berkshire Hathaway, and they're kind of holding it on the sidelines. So this article suggests that this might actually hurt the Bitcoin rally.
He does pay attention to stuff. Like one of the core things about Buffett is that he looks at products that consumers consume regularly and are going to consume down the road. He loves Coca-Cola. He loved these airlines, right? But then he recently, this past couple of weeks, he dropped all of his airline stock. Every single one of them, he just sold all of them off, which I think is now why he's got that big fat stack of cash in there. And that had to freak out the airlines. Like, that's just a whole other industry that's going to be changing, right? Like, is that going to become a government industry? Because, like, here were all of these different airlines, and now they're all broke, and we're still going to need to travel. And I know a lot of other countries, they have like Czech Airlines, and they have British Airways, and I don't know how many of them are attached to their government, but it's going to be interesting. But you know what? He doesn't like Bitcoin, so it doesn't surprise us that he doesn't think Bitcoin's going to be good. He thinks it's rat poison still.
You know who else doesn't like Bitcoin? Peter Schiff. He won't shut up about it. Like I follow his stuff on Twitter, and he's obsessed with hating Bitcoin. I don't understand it, especially when people have made so much more money if they, bought Bitcoin low and sold it high than if they bought gold. The last few years, gold's up. It's good. It's a great safe haven in my mind. But I don't get this crazy obsession. At what point would he have to concede that, okay, Bitcoin's good? I was wrong.
Well, but the thing is that, as you mentioned it, you nailed it on the head. People have made a lot of money with Bitcoin. So why wouldn't it be something that you would utilize as part of your portfolio if one of the things you're trying to do is gain and earn more money with your assets, right? I mean, gold is play.
It's the volatility, right? He would say it's not really safe. And then he'll take what I would consider an ignorant position that others take, that it's not backed by anything. Yeah, tell that to the miners that, have to shut down their machines if the price of Bitcoin, isn't high enough. They're not paying for the electricity.
And that's the dumbest thing when people go, oh, it's not backed by anything. I'm like, oh, like your dollar? Like, what is your dollar backed by? They're printing out trillions as we speak out of thin air, and that's not backed by anything? What the hell?
Backed by the good faith of the Federal Reserve. Tell that to the people in Greece, right, where half their money supply basically was taken from them,
right.
Like half.
Good faith, my arse.
Yeah, no good faith. So, here's the thing about these predictions. So there's a market analyst here. His name is Holger Zschpitz. I don't know how to pronounce this. Zschapitz. Uncle, I give up. Zschpitz, maybe. And he noted that the two previous Bitcoin halvings led to a 10,000% and 2,500% gains for Bitcoin. People are always like, oh, this could cause it to go up. This could cause it to go down. You know what I want to see? I wonder if there's a site out there that tracks the predictions of these people, because our memories are very short. We always look at, what are the predictions right now? Were they right last week when they said Bitcoin could go this way or that way? How about a month ago? How about 3 months ago? Because all this prognostication and reading the charts and the tea leaves means nothing if you can't prove that you were accurate in your predictions.
Well, I don't know if you know this about me, but I have had tremendous stock. My quality of stock picking over the past 10 years has been amazing.
It's Ronnie No-Ass.
And I just want to say that I really love Bad Crypto. I've been on the show.
That's not true. He
I really wish I could be back on the show again. And I understand why I'm not available to be on here, but it saddens my soul.
Ronnie, if you're out there, well, Travis wouldn't welcome you back, but I don't care. I think it'd be a fascinating conversation.
Oh my goodness!
Just he's entertaining. I don't doubt his ability to pick stocks, and I still think he got the short end of the stick, just because the whole dig thing. He got involved in that.
He went all in on that. Never go all in on a coin, folks. We've all learned. A lot of us have learned that.
Don't go all in on bad coin either.
Yeah.
Well, whether or not Mr. Ronnie is a big name, Paul Tudor Jones is. Apparently, he's a big name investor, and he is now buying Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. He's saying that this reminds him of the role that gold played in the 70s. So, are others going to follow as well? I don't know who, these big investors are. Really, the only one I'm familiar with is Warren Buffett, and not his brother, Jimmy Buffett, who probably invests as well. But are others going to follow Jones now?
Hard to say, but it's a very good sign when you have saying like, oh, everything's so volatile, the thing's going crazy, the world's going crazy. You know where I'm going to put my money? Bitcoin. Like, okay, wow. I love that. Another thing I love is SOME.social, SOMEE.social. It's a blockchain-based social media platform built for privacy. It has lots of great end-user controls and content monetization. SOME is privacy-focused and censorship-resistant, providing multiple monetization options, curation rewards, and content rewards, offers advertising revenue sharing, and a social dashboard that offers streamlined posting to all major social media from one single platform. That's SoMe Social, Mr. Joe Comm.
Oh, look who's back in the news, Mr. Travis Wright. It's your not brother, Craig.
It's my uncle. It's my Uncle Craig.
Uncle Craigie.
Uncle Dr. Craig. So check this out. An anonymous blogger has accused Dr. Craig Wright of plagiarism in his doctoral thesis. And they went through and pointed out all these different things.
His thesis started, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
It's going to be the worst of times because they're actually saying that there's a chance when they did his analysis, they plagiarized a 2008 law degree dissertation from this person by the name of Painted Frog. That was the person who accused Dr. Craig of plagiarizing his 2008 law dissertation from Northumbria University and posted his analysis of 2017, his doctoral thesis with his work. And you can just see where they would go through long chunks of stuff where like not a lot of stuff was edited. So they got a side-by-side comparison of what they had said using the content from Data Mining Desktop Survival Guide published by Graham Williams in January 2008, Ethical Hacking written by Redo Ballman. So and basically just pulled content. And if you look at it, it sure does look very, very similar, Mr. Joe Comm.
So maybe he's not even a real doctor.
Yeah, he's not even real. He's not Satoshi, and he's not even a real doctor because he plagiarized his work. That's crazy.
So the Wright is litigious, and Painted Frog says he chose to remain anonymous to avoid potential legal action. So Craig's going to have to sue all frogs.
Oh man, yeah. Uncle Craig is a fraud.
I think he's probably around the same age as you. Is he really your uncle? I think he'd be more like your brother.
I don't know. I just want to say
you're older than you think you are.
It's true. I feel like
you ever do that? Like you'll watch an actor, on TV, and somebody who they look old, and then for me, I'm 56 now, and then I'll look up their age and go, "Damn, I'm older than them."
You know what? There are some dudes from my high school that graduated 5 years younger than me that look like they could be my grandpa, or like not my grandpa, but my dad. I mean, just like super wrinkly and just like gray hair and like whoa, dude, you look like super grandpa. And like I think I'm blessed. My mom had great DNA. She looks young, and so I got the young youthfulness. That's good.
This is bad news for the decentralized video world. Pew Die Pie had been doing some streaming on D Live, but he announced that he has now signed an exclusive deal to do all his live streaming on YouTube, because I guess live streaming is going to be a big focus here. And we don't know if it was purely financially motivated or if he is anti-Tron, because D Live has migrated to the Tron platform, and we don't know. PewDiePie hasn't commented on the whys yet, and Cointelegraph is following this.
Yeah, so originally D-Live treated him like a real partner, but then he ended up saying that D-Live has 0 reward cuts, and so I mean, this dude has over 100 and some odd million subscribers on YouTube,
Crazy.
But YouTube had censored him. They called him out over certain jokes and said that he was a Nazi and all this other stuff. So he's gone through so much crazy stuff with YouTube, and what he's going to get in this to me, Mr. Joe Comm, seems to be like a potential trap where it's like, hey, we're going to allow you to be exclusive on here. Here are some rules and regulations. If you don't do that, then you're not able to stream anywhere or something. I don't know necessarily. Look, I'm not seeing the contract here. But it seems really fishy of YouTube, because YouTube's been all about censoring people lately, and I don't know that I would trust them, frankly.
Oh, Felix. Watch your back, Felix. That's all we'll say about that. Well, the U.S. Senate is back in session. For whatever reason, Nancy Pelosi is keeping the House from being back in session. But there are staffers that are on a permanent subcommittee on investigations that are looking for technology so that if the chamber is closed again, they could keep, things moving forward. And so they're looking at potentially using blockchain voting from a continuity of Senate memo released on April 30th.
Yeah, 29-page memo came out. They say that it's not a proposal to change Senate rules or from the committee that reviews them, but it's one of those things. It's like, hey, here's a crisis. Here's a time of crisis. How can we stay, moving forward with that? And so blockchain makes a whole lot of sense, but you got to make sure that, they say military-grade air-gapped communication system, similar to what presidents and generals would use. I would really love that military-grade air-gapped communication system for us to vote. Because if you've noticed, there's been a huge push of, we need mail-in voting, mandatory mail-in voting. We need to mail in your votes. Dude, we're 6 months away. And you mean to tell me I can be 6 foot behind somebody at a grocery store, but I can't be 6 foot behind somebody at a voting booth? Like, what is it? Why? And why is the CDC pushing it? That's what's weird to me. The CDC has nothing to do with voting. That's disease control.
You're going down these other rabbit holes again. Here goes Travis. Travis is going to be starting a new show soon. It's going to be called Travis Goes Down Rabbit Holes.
Tinfoil time with Travis.
That would be good. I'd be a guest as long as you served bacon. I'd be totally. Have you ever heard of this conference that was supposed to take place called the Massive Adoption Crypto Festival?
I have not. Oh, a festival.
Yeah, I hadn't either. It was originally scheduled for November 2019 in Memphis. It was postponed to February 27th and 28th. 2,000 registered attendees, 60 speakers. This guy's name is Jacob Kostecki. And I guess there is trouble in paradise that there is now a class action lawsuit on behalf of the attendees against the organizer here, basically saying that Kostecki has caused significant financial loss and has failed to carry out his promises. They want him to pay for airfare, attorney's fees, other applicable costs and interest. Man, I'm glad we did our conference for free and virtually, Travis, because we delivered goods, yo.
Yeah, maybe less people will sue us this way. That's good news. The free content wasn't good enough. It wasn't free enough. I didn't like it. So it's like, I need my time back. It's like freeness.
Travis, if you are in the Ukraine, which I know you do like very much to go to the Ukraine, and you are operating nuclear plant, could be used for crypto mining.
Oh my gosh. Well, you'd have a lot of power that way, wouldn't you? You'd have all kinds of juice because those nuclear plants have lots of juice, and that's interesting. I've not seen that. They actually had the forest fire at Chernobyl a couple weeks ago. Did you know that, Mr. Joel Comm? Yeah, and so a lot of Ukraine and especially Kiev was under some really interesting. Could you imagine the smoke from a radiation polluted forest? Oh, man. Yes, it went on for a few days, and I think they got it down.
So you can read more about this. Of course, all of the articles that we cover here and some of the ones that we haven't are linked in the show notes. Go to badco.in/403 to go down any of the rabbit holes that sound interesting to you here. And I do find this one interesting, Mr. Travis, right? Drink. By the way, every time Travis says interesting now, you do have to take a drink. It doesn't have to be an adult beverage, though. Just something, it could be water, could be tea, could be coffee. If you do want to have a beer, you can have beer. Hot chocolate's okay. Yeah. Kombucha.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I think though that I am saying it way less because I'm aware of it now.
Okay. Well, I'm good with you saying it. Okay. I think it's interesting. Personally,
I think it's interesting also. Absolutely. I want to say absolutely and interesting as much as possible. Here's some other interesting absolutely news is so Indian crypto boom is happening, right? So a few months ago, India has opened up crypto trading and exchanges are popping up and exchanges are noticing 10x trading volumes during this, Mr. Joel Comm. There's a lot of interest in the crypto world as the lockdown continues in India. More and more people seem to be focusing on crypto and huge growth there.
10x in just 60 days. And so everybody's thinking cryptocurrency now. There's no doubt, when we started this almost 3 years ago, By the way, I forgot to mention this last week. I think I forgot to mention this, that it was May 4th that in 2017, that I purchased my first sliver of Bitcoin. So when I bought it, I think I invested, it was $300. In Bitcoin was at $1,500. So I bought 1/5 of a Bitcoin. So that means that $300 is worth about $2,000 today.
That's pretty good return on.
Take that, Peter Schiff.
That's nice. No. Bitcoin scam. Don't pay attention.
And I'm a gold fan. I don't know. And there, I did have another point there. What was I saying?
India crypto boom. At a point.
Crypto go boom. One last story for you guys here, and if the train of thought returns, as it sometimes does, then we'll get back to whatever else it was I was going to say. But this is interesting. There is a ransomware group that claims to have secured a whole terabyte of private legal secrets from the world's biggest music and movie stars. Basically, there was a New York entertainment law firm, Grubman, Shire, Masalis, and Sachs, and they were hacked. The data was stolen, and we're talking about data belonging to Lady Gaga, Elton John, Bobby De Niro, Madonna. I like to call him Bobby. I've lost a lot of respect for him because of his rants, so he doesn't deserve to Robert anymore. I'm just going to call him Bobby. And they are threatening that basically send us Bitcoin or we are going to make this data available to the public.
That's a lot of data, Mr. Joel Comm. And Cointelegraph is where this article comes from. They actually viewed the gang's darknet site where they published screenshots of the legal contracts for Madonna, Christina Aguilera, and the company's computer folder system. So they're not playing games. The stolen data includes confidential contracts, telephone records, email addresses, personal correspondence, probably their real phone numbers, not the like their bat phone, non-disclosure agreements. And they've not said how much that they are demanding in ransom, but they would like to be paid in good old-fashioned Bitcoin.
Yeah, to an anonymous address. The group is called REvil. It's capital R, capital E, Vol. And I guess they've attacked others before. One company, TravelX, paid $2.3 million to recover their files. Here's the thing, though. Like, let's say you're a criminal, right? And you steal data and you illegally threaten, basically blackmail somebody, say, give money or we're going to release this. And then you get the money. What's the guarantee that that they're going to hand over the data, not put it out there anyway?
We're in the good faith. We're in the good faith of the REvil organization. Okay,
REvil Corp. Now stealing and sharing your data.
Yeah. Don't forget blackmail.
Say good stuff now. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate you. If you want to be part of the live Joel and Travening, I think that's what we're calling it, on Monday. We don't know the exact time yet, but make sure you're in the Bad Crypto Mastermind on Evil Facebook, badco.in/mastermind. We'll be going live there, and maybe we'll be going live to the other channels as well. Now that I know how to stream to all the places, we can probably go live to Twitter and to LinkedIn and Theta and DLive. So we'll watch for that happening, and we want to celebrate when the Halvening.
Now, is there a place that actually shows, yay, the Halvening just occurred? Like, where's the official place that people can go to see that official transaction when it happens?
Well, I imagine if we continue watching the Bitcoin clock, then we should be able to see exactly where that is, right? The link we've got in the show notes at bitcoinblockhalf.com is where the countdown is. And so you would just click on any block explorer to see when that takes place. And there'll be a big celebration. I don't know what you bring to a Bitcoin halving party, but whatever you have, cut it in two.
Well, see, that's what's interesting is that here's the thing. I'm looking at different Bitcoin clocks, and they're all telling me different times. One says May 11th, 2020. Another one's saying different times. So it's like, I guess we'll just say whenever one of them says it's the time, then we'll just go with that one.
Well, I think there's still estimates, right, going on because we don't know how quickly these blocks are going to complete. But the closer we get to it, the more certain we'll be. So join the Bad Crypto Mastermind, badco.in/mastermind. You do have to answer a couple questions to get in, just so we know that you're a real human being and that you're not going to spam the group and that you're going to contribute. And we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, because the time's actually changed since we chatted earlier on in the show, where it said it was going to happen around 6 o'clock Eastern or whatever. Well, now it's 6:15 Eastern, so it's already lost 15 minutes. 30 minutes. Actually, lost 30 minutes. So we'll see. We'll see what time it happens, but we will be on live when it does happen. Is our goal.
We will indeed. Thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate you. Go out into the world, spread the good news of cryptocurrency and the future of decentralization, and stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.